Yeah, the stupid thing about it is that I didn't finish everything that I wanted to do. I was supposed to read this book, and I didn't even touch it at all. And so now I have to rush reading it when I get to school at like 6:30 a.m. So I hate all this last minute rushing, but I gotta do it. Gotta do what I gotta do. But other than that, I made a video this morning about, well, this afternoon about the archetype black male. And what I mean by the archetype black male is that this is a black male who is the stereotypical thug, or, well, the typical eye candy for black women, which can be divided into the thug or the athlete. Um, there was a point that I made on that video that I had earlier before I made a video that wasn't put in the video, and I wanted to say that black men as a whole are loved and hated at this, or loved and hated. And the thing is that non archetype black men, such as your lames, your black nerds, they are hated up close. They are hated up close, but loved from afar. Let me say that again. Black lames, nerds, non archetype black men are hated up close, but loved from afar. And what I mean by that is that black women will show all kinds of disrespect to the lames, nerds, and the black men who configures the black community. You see this time and time with a lot of Alex L's um, artwork, and he talks, he does a lot of illustrations on how black women fail to get with a brother's program when he has it. And you see a lot of that in his artwork. Um, the thing is that, yeah, black women will show all kinds of disrespect towards those brothers, um, not give them a chance, or even a little chance at that, to something as simple as, going on a date, or, just doing something like really simple. They can't do that. You know, th- you know, that like females, they can't give these brothers any ounce of love or appreciation, and a lot of times, a lot of black nerds, and when women respond to men who have been heavily rejected, they oftentimes say that, oh, these guys are mad because they're not having sex like the other guys. And yes, true, yeah, yeah, that can be said. But the thing is that a lot of, not all of them are looking for sex, or, are that interested in it. It's something they kind of fantasize over. They don't have, you know, the way to prove that they got a masterful D game, so they might be insecure about it. But the one thing that they do want is at least some cooperation. When I say, hey, Andrea, we're going to the movies on Friday, 7:30. Can I trust that you'll meet me there? I expect to meet her there. It's just simple stuff like that. It's not always things that are around sex. Despite the hate that black nerds get from um, from up close, the thing is that they're loved from a distance. When black men, when these black nerds, do something that's kind of beneficial, like they say, they become the first black person to do this, or they made $1 million company out of scratch, or they're mastering in, STEM programs and, higher education, and you see their faces plastered on, you know, on the news or in articles. Black women will champion them up and say like, "Oh, those are good black men. Those are black men that we need to have. We need to have more black men like him in the community." Oh, his mother raised him right, and they'll show all kinds of love, to these black nerds from a distance. They don't know him. They'll show all this love from reading an article about him, but let them meet him in person. They wouldn't give him a chance. They wouldn't even talk to him. So that's what what I mean by that statement. And obviously with the black archetype is that he's loved for his masterful D game, yet he's hated because he does it too well. He perfects it too well, and he doesn't have a shadow of, he doesn't have a care. Yeah, you can have a whole bunch of kids, but he's not gonna care. And he's so worried about pleasing you sexually that he doesn't care about anything else. You know. Um, I do feel like I do feel like today's children, today's kids aren't gonna have any motivation to build, because when they see people, nerdy black men who are into STEM programs, who are into building and doing technical things, females are gonna be left in the dust, and they're not going to be able to connect with them. You know, um, Even I have a hard time connecting with black women when it comes to talking about anything from politics to stuff in general. They can't really add on to the conversation. Even I was trying to talk to black women about the Black Lives Matter. I was exposing them, but yet black women get so guilt tripped about, well, it's about black lives, and they're talking about everybody and all our lives matter, and it's like they're missing the point. It's like I'm trying to expose them that they're a campaign, and they're an agenda or movement run by George Soros, who's sponsoring Hillary Clinton, and they don't want to hear that. They're not trying to hear all the semantics and theoreticals and shit like that. They can't connect. They can't connect dots. I'm not trying to make a jab and saying that black men are so much smarter than black women, but the thing is that black nerds can't really connect with the average black female. You know, and the thing is that this generation isn't going to be inspired to build anything. That's what I fear, because nobody wants to be that lonely guy or that lonely black male and risk having an successful yet boring life. You know, if I had a son, I did think about it, and I made this point in another video, is that if I wanted a son, I would love for him to be as smart as me or smarter. But the thing is that would there be a cost to it? Would he be able to fit in with his black peers, and will he be accepted? And that was things that I kind of feared, and I kind of wondered, because black male intelligence isn't something that black women like. It's not something that they find attractive, and you know And so that's something that I worry about, especially with black women who are raised in the black community. You know, the smart guys weren't the cool guys. So I did wonder about that. Um, Probably another problem that I have with being the so-called non-archetype black male is that um, we have no voice to talk. We don't have our own media outlet, and that's kind of the issue that I wish that we had. We have to result on YouTube and Facebook to voice our opinions, and there are a good bit of men like me. And the sad thing is that we don't have a media outlet to where we can talk about it. We can talk about the other side. We always hear about black women um, being these damsels in distress to where they're super perfect and they can't find a decent guy to settle down with. Yet, you don't hear our story of the black guy um, who is constantly disrespected, laughed at by black women because he's not the archetype black man. He's not selling drugs. He doesn't have, he's not playing sports. And so, where can he go? What can he do to attract the opposite mate? So, I wish that we had a voice for that instead of just constantly hearing about the black woman who can't find a decent person. But I'm just gonna kind of end it here. I felt like this was like a really dry topic, but I've been kind of losing my energy lately and kind of just been burnt out.